This is my 100th YouTube video. When I started this YouTube channel, what I really was looking for at the time was purpose. In some subtle way, I wanted to prove to myself or to the world that I could create something meaningful, something that would make me special, and then to make a living from that. When I started this YouTube channel almost 3 years ago, my videos wanted to be about classical self-improvement. It was a time where I had just left a long-term relationship and was about to finally find myself and solve the existential issues that I've been dealing with. And I was feeling better, but still now I found this kind of YouTube grind to be very fulfilling and purpose-driven. Because I just felt completely aimless in life, and the idea to improve myself and help others in the meantime felt so meaningful to me. And as much as it has helped me to focus on self-improvement, having a vision to create something better of myself long term, avoiding sugar for half a year, waking up at 5 in the morning, working out, learning to be disciplined. But it also somehow felt shallow, like I'm trying to fix something that I wasn't sure what it really was. And my videos felt a lot less deep too at the beginning. I was kind of thinking myself into a more palatable way. Like I automatically dumbed myself down for some imaginary audience because I feared just being myself would be too much, coming off as too pretentious and arrogant. So in this sweet space, I tried to find my authenticity, to be myself, but also maybe not too much. Then after a while, I noticed that self-improvement was somewhat of a mask. It was trying to fit into what everybody else was doing, and my true nature was way deeper. So over time, my content and I matured. So has my coaching also matured, as I switched from content that tried to entertain to content that tried to teach. And I started to make a Discord group where I provided coaching for free to people, and it crystallized the existential nature of my content. The gap that I saw, and that I still see, is that most spiritual content isn't focused on the profound. It does not care much about truth or existential freedom. It's not focused on the darkness of the human, or the magic of reality and its implications, or the deeply psychological process that all of this consciousness work really is, how it's grounded in something understandable, scientific, and even physical. Spiritual content is mostly mixed with pseudoscience and extreme superstition, believing in things without evidence or without direct experience, but because people hope to get something out of spirituality, to be somebody better in the future than who they were before, with manifesting infinite abundance, or money, or your dream career, or how to get your ex back. Most of what I saw was to serve the ego, which is very ironic. And in a way, to better yourself is the goal. It's just that better doesn't mean what you think it should mean. Better means being more honest to yourself, honest about what you want to do, and what do you actually feel and think, and to how to live this in the world and be honest about who you are. Better means to be content because one is aligned with one's own truth. And the word truth sounds so presumptuous or philosophically lazy even, when it was the most important word for me ever. It was what everything was about. But in a deep way, the truth is obvious. It's simply hidden by the mind. You already do know. You just doubt yourself. But the truth shines clearly by itself. The truth of your body and your mind. The truth of your life. The truth of our sick society and its constructed nature. The truth of oneness and the truth of non-duality. But deep consciousness work can only be about one and only one thing, and that is the truth. It doesn't matter what I think or believe, or what my journey has been, or how I have helped my clients, or my own level of peace. But at the end, the truth is about you. It's about your life and what it means to be you. All of this is very honest and real, but it's also manipulative for my part, because I'm dangling some hope for a better future in front of you, because I know it's possible, because I know that there is a truth that is lived, that is wonderful. But messaging this is also for my benefit. That's the game that I've chosen. Being a spiritual coach and playing the social media game. This peace that I have is mine, and I genuinely want to share it. But I'm also kind of marketing my own peace, or using my own peace to convince other people, or to motivate them, to make other people see how much ease you can have towards life and to be okay with who you are. So it is this weird thing where I'm being extremely authentic and honest, but I'm also selling something at the same time. Because at the end, I want to be working with you. I want you to have the trust in me that I can actually change your life and change your experience. That's what I'm building my entire life towards. And I never expected to make videos like this, talking about such deep topics on a regular basis. Myself from 5 years ago could never have imagined even being a YouTuber or being like a public person, much less a content creator or like a coach or a business person. All these ideas were threatening to my identity at this time, because if I would have a goal and really commit to it, then there's something there to lose. Then I cannot pretend to be already above it all and not need anything. But the deeper I went into the spiritual work, the deeper I noticed how it's all united, it's all aligned, and how it's all psychological. I was always looking for some sort of purpose, and yeah, for a short while I thought that YouTube is it. My coaching work is my purpose. But then I kind of lost this excitement for it, this feeling that told me, yeah, you need to continue this because it is what matters. It's the most important thing. That's what you've been born to do or whatever. And yeah, this feeling stopped. And I noticed that it didn't matter. I just continued at my own pace. And it didn't really matter what I felt. And all my struggle I had with discipline and being more consistent kind of stopped falling away too. Because there was a certain part where I felt like I'm just repeating myself, or that I'm also kind of stuck now in living this life of like being a teacher or being a coach, and then I just have to repeat the same ideas again and again. And I wonder, where's the creativity in that? And is this really effective for people? And do I really want to live 5 years more like this, or 10 or 15 or 20? Like, how long can I hold this vision for? And funnily enough, the moment I stopped thinking about it as some grand purpose or grand narrative, or me as the the coach who can solve everything, I kind of stopped caring and worked more. I felt more purpose by thinking about it less, or by even feeling into this idea of purpose less. I feared that I would get tired of this work before finding any real success. But the more I dropped the notions of success, or this even being work in the first place, the more I have lost myself in it. And work started to become like play. Over time, I learned that every single video I ever did is also, in a way, done for me, for my older self, my current self, and other versions of just consciousness or experience out there. Other instances of real life that genuinely gets helped by what I have to say in my presence. Like you watching. And it's also so funny because you could literally be anybody. You could be somebody I know deeply. You could be somebody I've never seen before. We might cross our paths at some point in the future, or we might never see each other ever. But it's real. The numbers on the screen kind of obfuscate the real communication that we are doing all the time on scale. And we kind of wonder what it means and how important it is or how important we are. But looking at it simply, it is connection, no matter which kind. And it impacts and it changes how even all comments that I've ever received and all feedback I've ever received changed me into what I am now. And in all of this, I then saw that there's no other way but to keep doubling down. I must give myself away even more. My journey has lent me to care less about myself in a way that is freeing, to be kind of content no matter what happens in my life or what comes from the future. And it is in a way that you're just absolutely unafraid of judgment, to not be scared of being too deep to strangers on the internet, or trying to sound profound and this coming off as pretentious. There were so many things that I struggled with before I could express myself how I'm doing it now, and now I'm taking it for granted. It's just me. On one hand, I've become better at whatever I'm doing, but I'm also extremely limited in my perspective. I'm still just one person with one mind, and it doesn't matter how much I've helped other people or how much I expressed myself or how much I've changed over the years. At the end of the day, there's just always more to learn, and there's always more to understand and to do that deepens the relationship with life and deepens the relationship with experience. And self-discovery then becomes like a discovery of what your life is, of who you are unfolding into this life, and to accept your path, the path that you take. And I never wanted to become a guru or create some sort of persona that I needed to defend, which was always my biggest fear, to become some sort of spiritual guru and then having to defend some sort of spiritual ego, trying to pretend I'm not human, or having some sort of extreme enlightenment or whatever, and I'm constantly blissed out. That's not true. But then there's also something deeper that is true, that I do want to communicate. And it is so paradoxical where my authentic expression and marketing starts to mix, because I'm both trying to point to hope and to genuine shifts in experience, but at the same time, I'm also always signaling that I am the one who knows and I'm the one who can help, which is true, but there's something, there's something conflicting in that, right? So from the start, I decided that authenticity is my highest value. To say what is true and to be honest about it, and to stop pretending some sort of false humility too. Like I started to pretend I don't know something when I just knew. But especially when it comes to philosophical matters, when you say you know something, you're going to be scrutinized as you should be. That's also why I started to move away from self-improvement to something more like philosophical, psychological, to something more spiritual. Because I found that if I argue about philosophy, well, then the mind gets activated and you will always start to argue instead of doing the real introspective work, and to really question how your own perception of your mind functions. And it's much easier when people have had certain spiritual experiences or deep psychological experiences that make them understand what I'm talking about instead of trying to defend it or argue for it. Although I do find value in philosophical ponderings, I just think they can be very distracting because they put us into binary thinking, and spirituality dissolves that. It makes you accept what is the case and not what you want to be the case or imagine to be the case. And in this way, I learned to care about myself, to find my authentic expression of what matters to me and what is effective, what I want to communicate. To take myself seriously in the right way. Not self-serious in that I need to be somebody, but to stand for what I say and be real about it. And this way, my content transformed from just attracting a wider audience that wants to be entertained to people that are really trying to understand and to find the right people I genuinely can help. The ones who know what it's like to question if anything in reality is real, who wonder why there exists anything in the first place, and who see how bizarre it is that anything exists at all. What it means for the universe to just be in your head and at the same time be absolutely real. That everything you ever thought is just a small speck in a cosmic sea of infinity. It's for those who know how it is like to not be able to be understood by anybody and to feel just alone in one's own mind and wonder, how did I even get here? How it is so impossible to locate the self and understand the ineffable nature of consciousness. People who are looking to free themselves from the burden of suffering and understand that there's genuinely a path towards that it is not some fantasy or abstraction, but there's something that it means to be a healthy human. It's about meaning and purpose, after all. It's just found in something else, not an accomplishment. So instead of finding some meaning or purpose in accomplishment or this huge motivation to wake up every morning, it is just really about showing up for the next script, showing up for the next conversation, showing up for the next person who asks me a question, and then showing up for myself when I really do not feel like recording, and then I record anyway, because underneath it all, there's just a piece that I can't explain and I can't point to. I just can try, but I can't really explain it. I haven't chosen it. I haven't fully explored it either. I've yet to learn how deeply it connects to everything else. But somehow in this process, all spirituality has become quite ordinary for me. The fact that I'm constantly perceiving reality as a soup of sensations with no clear experience or center, it was absolutely mind-bending at the start. Just complete insanity. But now it's just so normal that it feels like that this is what it always has been and what it always was. Just now that there's peace. And when I started to have my first experiences of oneness with the universe, I was crying profoundly, and it was so overwhelming and so ginormous, as if the weight of the entire universe is on your shoulders. I've had so many moments of rapturous bliss and absolute agony and suffering, and it is also in the past now that it's incredible that I'm just here and that I'm just vibing and trying to have an impact. That somehow being here now is enough. It feels like that existence, and as difficult it is to understand, but existence is truly perfect. There's no atom that should be in another place. And my philosophical mind, when it says these things, wants to argue against it for the audience, but I'll do this another time. Because there are a lot of good arguments you can make against the statement, like everything is perfect. the ego must disagree with that. Whatever soul is in this bodily vessel has worked so much to be here. And it kind of now all takes it for granted. It's just so used to being me. But then I know it was difficult. It was immensely difficult. It's just done by the past. And from this point of view, it all feels like it was effortless, which I know it was not. but somehow from here it looks like I haven't done a single thing. It just moved through me. Everything moves through everything else. This idea of effortless effort resonates a lot here. And I think this is how purpose truly feels like. It's effortless effort. And this is kind of like the paradox of my work, because on one hand, I'm being here and stating that I'm so content and peaceful and everything's perfect. And at the other side, I see just a sick world and I feel compelled to work to make it better in whatever way I can. The most spiritual So in a way, I have to make the most spiritual and profound parts of my mind into somewhat of a treadmill. Every day I think about, what can I say to people? What can I teach? Who do I need to impact with what I have to say? Should I write a new Substack article or create a new video? What should this video be about? And how do I package it in a way that is appealing to people? Or do I just press record and then see what happens and then edit afterwards? I can't really make clear how much thought has gotten into every single aspect of my videos. I just hope the sincerity of it is felt. But every single video is like an extension of me, a fusion of everything I've learned through my experiences crystallized into words and sometimes visuals. Now hundreds of people see me every day and it has become somewhat normal, but it's also odd still that my entire mind in all of its profundity is so directly accessible. I also wonder how much impact these videos actually have on the individual. That's why I love getting comments still and reading feedback on what the perceptions of people are, because for me it's sometimes difficult to imagine from somebody who is still seeking and still in the depth of it how these things are being received. It makes me glad to see that my words resonate with people and they find something meaningful or impactful through my work. And I especially feel that when I work one-on-one with clients, because there's where it's most immediate and felt. It's most personal, instead of just having a number that says 400 people have seen this. There's something about this one-on-one direct experience that is just absolutely irreplaceable, and it's what I'm actually working for. Sometimes the YouTube videos feel like they get in the way of what I actually most like doing, which is the coaching, which is the real psychological work one-on-one with people. And I think this is also the truth that lies behind these videos. Every video of mine has the goal to funnel people to my one-on-one work and to my offer page, to find the right person that has the means and the mental space to shift their own experience and to want to move towards deeper inner peace and to put the trust in me that I can genuinely help them. And in an odd way, every video becomes somewhat of an ad, which is a very curious mix. A mix of authenticity and advertisement through existential spirituality. And then all framed in some semi-scientific, physicalist way. Because everything here is my true and authentic expression, helpful information, and existential nature, which touch very deep emotional aspects for people that is quite vulnerable. And it used to be extremely vulnerable for me. And at the same time, they're just also calculated. Like, I am trying to create what gets people to shift, what gets people to think, and what draws more attention. Marketing for the real work that hides behind these videos. Now I feel much more confident to admit that also this is what I'm aiming for. That the point is to teach and to gain your trust, to show you that I know what I'm talking about, and to show you that there's help out there that can shift whatever you're going through. Because I also know how impossible it feels like from the inside. Like the entire idea of existential liberation or stopping suffering seems almost impossible from the point of view of the suffering self. It seems too good to be true. And these individual conversations where I actually can see the transformations happening is really where I receive most of my joy. My YouTube journey really has been about maturity. And in this way, it has mirrored the personal or the spiritual one. The more mature I got as a person, the more I found out what I'm good at doing, and the more I've developed also in this business of mine, and the more I'm also seeing where else this could lead if I give even more of myself and do more, become more intelligent, and train my mind to be a better teacher, and to always be careful of my own arrogance. And then what comes out is just whatever tries to have the least friction, that just expresses without fear of judgment, fear of outcome. And then I completely forget the point of it. I don't think about this as some marketing video or some sort of advertisement for coaching. It feels just real and important. And all of this becomes like part of the background. But I can't pretend that it isn't having a huge influence or isn't the driving factor of everything that I do. Because this is what I mostly enjoy. It is to coach. The maturity comes from showing up for what you really care about and to express myself for what really matters to me and what is true to me without fear of being seen as pretentious or overly guru-like, or just polluting the spiritual space with more slop. To talk to the void and trust that it reaches people. The creation of anything, be it art or anything really, requires a surrender to the thing. Excellency comes from a sort of devotion to whatever you're dedicating your life towards. Like if you're studying for something, the only way you're actually going to study it is if you surrender. Let the information of whatever you're reading in, and you can't learn if you don't want to study the material or if your mind is somewhere else. In a way, all I've been doing is just surrendering deeper to my life and surrendering deeper to this work, to keep going with everything I have and learn how to make it better, more helpful, but also more enjoyable for myself, so that I can keep doing this for the next 20 years. To admit to myself that, my responsibilities are increasing, and even beyond my own financial security, it's about real existential depth. It's real life. It's about real lives that are at stake. And whenever you communicate with somebody, know that you're really touching them. You're really creating ripples on their life. And just because I'm in this weird, peaceful bubble of contentment and feeling somewhat invulnerable in it, it doesn't mean that the stakes aren't real. It doesn't mean that I'm actually invulnerable, like I have a physical body and I, of course, want to prosper. But also everybody who sees me and hears what I have to say generally gets changed by these words. I've become an influencer in a way that I can't yet fully understand. And I can't yet fully understand what impact it truly has to, communicate this directly and sincerely about this stuff. It mostly becomes clear when I get an email from somebody or a message from somebody that, expresses to me directly how much my videos have influenced them or have helped them. Or, on direct calls with people, the amount of gratitude then I get for videos that I maybe didn't think were even that good. So I'm in this weird zone where I am so okay with everything, yet deeply surrendered to the idea of becoming better somehow. But now it's not from this position of wanting to fix anything. It's just kind of a playful drive to create an even fuller space of, whatever this aliveness is. A more honest place and a more creative and effective space. And ultimately, this means to show up more, do more work, and being more present wherever I can. I really, really wonder what our future will bring, what will happen the next coming years, societally, spiritually, technologically. We are in very, very interesting times. And as dark as it might seem, I'm also glad to be alive now and to be able to witness it all in all this modern craziness, to witness my mind and how it moves towards different things, to talk to people and help them feel seen, and for you to be watching all of this magic unfold. As small of a part that I am in all of human history, I know that I'm playing my part.